Okay, here I will record a brief reflection of the progress of my work in creating digital presence with a comparison with my original target set in the plan at the beginning of the course. First, I will start with a review of my plan. The plan has three major purposes for cultivating digital presence and identity. The first is learning how to use digital tools to establish personal database and presentation. The second is to understand the behavioral features of digital learners and educators. The last is to verify the visitor residence theory in practice. And as for the approaches for achieving the goal, I also have several parts. The first is choose the right platform, such as the in-campus blog, social media like Twitter and LinkedIn. The second is choose the right tools, such as the tools to make videos, audios, pictures, or words. When it comes to the content will focus on creating original content based on the personal work experience and focus on the problems in digital context with solutions and the sharing ideas reflections about new technology. The last part of the plan is measures of success, which I create one indicator is the number of feedback or comments under each of my posts, which means whether students are in favor of the content I have created. Now I will expound on my work for the last 2 months. When it comes to the reflection of my work for the last 9 weeks, I match I match part of the targets set in the original plan. And to be specific, I do acquire the skills of a host of new digital tools, such as Google Doc, which is a practical program for teams to write an academic paper collectively with the only problem in its insufficient function of editing format compared with the regular Microsoft Word. Other programs include the video and graphic design tools like CorelDRAW Studio and Photoshop, by which I'm able to create multimedia content instead of the plain text. And according to some findings of the online reading preference of the digitalized generation, a noticeable higher proportion of students prefer videos and audios to pure word content. That is why I choose to transform most of my posts into into multimedia information. And on the other hand, there do exist some deviations from the original choices of social media where I plan to establish digital presence. My previous choices were the school blogs of Royal Roads University and the social media platforms of Weibo and Youku, which are the Chinese counterparts of Facebook and YouTube, respectively. The reason why I choose the local social media in China rather than Facebook and YouTube is based on the need of my students, with a large proportion of them residing in China and therefore cannot access to the two platforms I mentioned. And the information represented in multimedia is favored by young students. For the content of my digital presence, it sticks to the academic information as described in the original plan. However, it is kind of complicated in adding multimedia materials to the in-campus blogs. Adding to the problem is the view model. Visitors cannot see the full size of original pictures in the blog. And sometimes the problem impedes communication. And that's why I use the blog less frequently than the former mentioned two social media websites. While the majority of my work for the past weeks are on the right tracks as designed in the plan, the indicator I create to measure the success of my digital presence also successfully illustrates the students' response to my content. For example, the post of videos featuring bullet points of academic information receive lots of positive comments and feedbacks from visitors. Such a phenomenon accords to the expectation in the measurement. Also, the number of student comments on multimedia content overwhelmingly exceeds that of the posts containing only plain text. Such a comparison also accords to the analysis by many academics about the reading habits of the younger generation in this digital environment. In conclusion, that is a brief reflection of my practice in day-to-day digital work compared with the original plan at the beginning of the course. Thank you very much.